Moving on to our first of two Monday Night Football games. And I'll just tell you this right now, folks. If you have a significant other who maybe isn't a big football fan, huge opportunity to get some brownie points this Monday and sit your significant other down and say, you know what? There's two football games on, but you matter more. Let's go out. Let's go to Olive Garden. Let's go here. Let's go there. Date night. You're probably not going to miss a whole lot. Not great football on the lineup. It'll be a great opportunity to maybe build up some brownie points for later in the year when maybe you have to sit down for a Thursday night and skip a family event. So just a little thought there. Anyways, we do have two Monday Night Football games. They are going to be staggered, not right after each other. I think one's at 7, the next is at 8 or 4 and 5 on the West Coast. Do the math in between. But anyways, this will be the second of the two. The Cincinnati Bengals heading to Mile High to face the Denver Broncos. Broncos are going to be 7-point favorites. The over-under is 44. The money line sits plus 290 for Jake Browning and the Bengals, and minus 380 for Bo Nix and the Broncos. AFC West is Raider Jim's jurisdiction. Raider Jim, your thoughts? Bengals at Broncos.
You know, when Joe Burrow went down, I'm that guy who always says, even when your best player goes down, and say we're done for the season, because you got to have somebody else in there. It can't be the end of your season. But wow, what I saw from Cincinnati and Minnesota last week was ridiculous. So in the quarterback position under center for Cincinnati, you either have Joe Burrow or you have Jake Browning, and their initials, that's where the whole comparison. It's not. And that's saying something. That poor guy, I think they got to him, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times, something like that. Hurried him all game long, Browning, that is. And I believe the Denver offensive line is going to put a little bit more pressure on Cincinnati. This is going to be a hard one for the Cincinnati fans to watch. Covering, but by it's late in the game, hey, take your foot off the gas, give them a courtesy field goal, give them a courtesy touchdown, whatever the case may be. But I think Denver wins this one. Up a lot of points. Bo Nix is still struggling to get his breakout game, if you ask me. He's got to do a little better. He can't just go for 100 yards here, 100 yards there, or, mid-hundreds. He's got to really start going over 200 yards to keep these guys in the. But for this one, give me Denver minus 6.5. Give me under 44 because Cincinnati may not score.
Yeah, I think it's time to panic in Cincinnati. Obviously, the panic was already there when you do lose Joe Burrow, because at that point, no backup is going to come close to Joe Burrow. But Jake Browning had at least shown, I think he was 4-3 last year. He was able to kind of do what backups are, you want them to be able to do, is kind of just keep things on the right track and not fully implode. Well, unfortunately, as you mentioned last week, it fully imploded for Jake Browning. And you mentioned exactly the reason I'm taking the under, and Denver minus 6.5 as well. I'm going to buy that half a point because you kind of have to buy that hook just in case. But it's going to be the defense of Denver. They haven't been great this year. Some injuries, a lot of teams deal with that early on, getting guys back in shape early on. Hopefully we do get to see a little bit of a resurgence from this Denver defense. And this is kind of like a get right game for this defense. I know they're in film and they're checking out last week, and they're knowing that Jake Browning is he's a gazelle who's been separated from the pack, and the lion herd is ready to pounce. I think that's kind of how they're going to look at this. I think it's a big get right game for the Broncos. So give me the Broncos minus 6.5 under the 44. Big reason, kind of what you said. I mean, what, 21-10, 21-13? Like, what are we looking at here? I mean, it wouldn't help the spread, but even 21-20, we're still under. It's almost too high of a number. It kind of scares me, but I really do like the under. I think two offenses that have struggled, especially Cincinnati, might get shut out. Let's be honest, but